Welcome to Polytunnel number 3, just newly put up, and you can immediately see the difference between this one and the others. This one has got mesh on the bottom, but all the way around, and that helps to keep this polytunnel a lot cooler. The others do get very hot, but I'm hoping with the mesh at the bottom this will be a lot cooler. So you'll have to excuse the mess, this is all very much work in progress. This was a garlic bed when we were putting the tunnel up, and so unfortunately the tunnel's gone up over the top of the garlic, and I'm just waiting to another week I think, and the garlic will be harvested. But it's also right in the way of the doorway. Now the plan with this polytunnel is the right hand side here where the membrane is, that's going to be membrane all the way up to the top, and there will be staging all the way full length of the polytunnel. On the left hand side, this is just going to be one, at the moment I'm thinking this is just going to be one big bed. I'm not planning at this moment in time to divide it up, but that might change in the future, who knows. So the original layout of this land was, if I turn around, these were raised beds, so that's one raised bed, and then there was another one here, and so on down. You can't see where the others were now, and they had paths in between, but like I mentioned previously, everything did get really hammered here, mainly by the wind. We're very, very exposed up here on the mountain, and the wind used to just smash everything. So that's why we decided to go for this polytunnel. And so I've started growing in it. I've got a frame set up, more peas. Yeah, we do eat a fair amount of peas, so they've been sown directly in the ground and they're coming up fine. And we've got some kale. These were all young plants that I had started, and I was desperate for the tunnel to get up so I could get these in. Then we had sprouts, we've got kohlrabi, we've got the what is that? That's a flowering sprout. It's one you use in stir fries. So they don't form the little buttons, it just forms clusters of little leaves. And that is a cabbage, and there's a red cauliflower, and then we got a red cabbage. I had a couple of spare tomato plants, so they've gone in here a bit late, but they're flowering, so who knows. There's also a spare summer squash in here, and there's some more sweet corn. So at the moment this end is all a bit of a jumble. But this staging, which Martin is in the progress of putting up for me, will go full length of the polytunnel. And yeah, so this is where some of my young plants are at the moment. So I've got grapes, I've got a load of figs at the back there that I took from cuttings. There's hibiscus, there's Indian bean trees, lipstick trees, mixtures of shrubs, etc. And there's a few odd herbs as well. There's a few odd citrus tree bushes here. And so the idea with this tunnel is we use it for, or I will be using it for growing things from seed and cuttings, and having surplus plants to sell, hence why I want a lot more staging. And there's a few other plants here growing in buckets, and these are potatoes as well, which are sown in the pots. So I'm quite excited about this polytunnel because it's quite different. We've had the crop bars put up again. We haven't fitted any overhead water irrigation systems yet. But yeah, this will be all the stuff that I would normally grow outside. The onions and leeks, etc., will go in here, and the brassicas, yeah, anything I would normally grow outside which doesn't do well in a hot polytunnel will be grown in this polytunnel. So it's yeah, so keeping it cooler but giving it the protection, I hope does the trick with it. We shall just wait and see. So that is polytunnel number 3, and this polytunnel is it's the same width as the others. It's 14 foot wide, and we went for 14 foot because initially when we set this area up it was all raised beds, and all the raised beds were 13 foot wide, and because we started putting polytunnels over the top of the raised beds, 14 foot seemed right sort of width. We'd have to go for 12 foot or we'd go for 14, so we went for 14, and at the time it seemed big. So this is 14 foot wide, and this polytunnel is 50 foot long, so it is almost twice as long as the other polytunnels. But while I'm here, I'll just show you the outside area. I haven't got any beds outside here yet, and there will be. But this hedge was planted, tiny little whips of hedging, and this was planted, one of the first things I planted actually here in the vegetable area. It was planted 7 years ago. So as soon as the fencing went up, I planted this hedge, which I'm quite pleased about. It's grown really well, and we've had various types of beds here, and everything now is in pallet collet beds. This one is to be cleared, and these ones in this area, there will be 4 in total, and they will be nursery beds, and that's what will be happening to most of these as well. So some of them have got edible flowers in, some have got plants for natural dyeing, some have got a few odd vegetables stuck in them because there was nowhere else to put them at the time. I've been trying to work my way through all the young plants I've got and the young trees, and so hopefully by the end of the year all these pots of trees will be cleared and all of them will be planted up as well. These used to be my cut flower beds, so it was lilies and gladioli, but some of these beds have been, I haven't put dahlias in them this year, but they've been reclaimed for nursery plants. So that's what's sort of happening in this area out here, and we're having a big clear up of the weeds that are growing in the bark, and rebarking all the area. So this is my outdoor area to polytunnel number 3. So I should give them names actually. I might have to have a think to see what names I've got I can come up with, and I do have some pots of plants over there and etc. And I've got that's how bad it gets up here. My pool windows in my shed, they get blown in so many times, and I've got a sheet of perspex there waiting to repair the windows yet again. So next year when I do an update, I'm hoping it all looks very different here and will be a lot more established. But like all gardens, it grows, it evolves. You can see climbing over the shed there is a hot plant. That's all nut trees out there, and willow hedging that's been planted there. So yeah, it's constantly evolving, constantly changing to suit our needs. So thank you very much for watching.